Welcome back to Real Estate Talk this Sunday morning. We are delighted that you're here. Real estate indeed changes people's lives for the good. It's not what you know, it's who you know. My friend John Sturges with Keller Williams Southlake is who you want to call when you're buying or selling real estate. 817-832-7473. 817-832-7473. And guess what? He answers his phone. Now, John.
Yes.
How does my homeowner who wants to sell their house determine, because people all the time give a listing to an agent because they'll tell them what they want to hear, and or it goes like this: it's my brother-in-law's friend, or I'll give them a shot, right? You're dealing with the largest transaction you do many times in your life.
Absolutely.
And so what are some of the red flags when you know you're sitting down and that real estate agent's telling you what you want to hear versus factually pricing that home right so it moves and you go on down the road?
Well, I think, when you meet with a seller, I think they have a preconceived notion of what they think their house is already worth.
They're emotionally attached.
They're emotionally attached. They're going to go to Zillow or something like that and think that that's like good data, actionable data. And it's really not. I don't even know how Zillow sometimes prices homes. So when you sit down with them, you've really got to come armed with lots of facts. You've got to show them that, there's a reality, then there's this disconnect, and if you're sitting in the disconnect lane, you may have a problem here. And you've got to be a strong agent, somebody that, again, I tell people this all the time, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because doing anything else is a disservice to you. It's like I'm just blatantly lying, that kind of thing. And people will sit there and they'll look at you kind of shocked, and then sometimes they'll say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how honest do you want me to be with you? Tell me how honest they'll go 10, that kind of thing. So, that gives you a license to tell them what you need to know, to bring your experience to bear, to bring your knowledge to bear, to help them to understand what is doable and what's not doable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I so agree with that. John, I flip a lot of houses, and what I've seen people selling real estate and trying to do it their way versus listening to the real estate agent. Not only you come to the table with facts, but there are things you're going to have to do when you talk about those facts as a seller to put your home in the game. And, I see a lot of people today, their air conditioning may be 15, 20 years old, and they're not updated, and they expect their house to sell the same as the one that's updated down the street. So talk about the importance of some of the things you have to do in order to get your home in the game.
Well, I think that, we've come from a landscape of sellers were actually able to get away with a lot less updating because of the number of the demand. There was demand was there, the supply wasn't. We're in a seller's market. So they say, well, maybe I don't have to replace my carpet, or I don't have to put granite in or something like that. And in many cases, they could get away with that. But things, again, with this shift going on, it's starting to come back around on them now. So we take a good hard look at the house, because I tell people you have one chance and one chance only to sell a buyer. If they come in, they leave, they're probably not coming back. So you got to be shined up, looking good, polished up. And so we will walk around the house and we'll make all kinds of suggestions. And I tell people, this is just suggestions, okay? I'm giving you my professional advice as to what I think you need to do to put yourself in a category where they walk in and go, wow. And that starts on the outside. I mean, you've got to have the curb appeal. You got to have your bushes trimmed up. You got to have your lawn in order. No weeds, and you got to have mulch down. You want them to have a really positive experience when they pull up to the house before they go in to see it. Because if they don't, it's going to be a lot tougher to win them over on the inside. They're walking in with a negative experience already.
Yeah, because you can, the first thing you do is, John, when you list a home, you have a professional photographer come.
Absolutely.
And guess what professional photographers could do? If John wasn't a good agent, which he is, he's not, but you can airbrush those pictures. So a lot of stuff you see on the internet when you actually walk up there is not the same case. I would tell you, and tell me if you think this is right. I've figured out that the most bang for the buck you can get when selling your home is for the homeowner to go to this place called Home Depot or Lowe's and get this thing for $50 a day. It's maybe even cheaper than that, called a power washer. And power wash the driveway, the sidewalk, everything. when you do that, it just puts a different light on it.
Puts a shine on the house. Absolutely. Clean the windows. There are so many things that, as sellers, where they live in their house, they don't see these things on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. But when I roll up on the house and go in, I'm seeing it for the first time. So I'm seeing these things. These things are standing out. These are red flags for me. Yeah. And you have to point these things out. And one of the biggest mistakes that listing agents make is taking their own pictures with their cell phone or with their camera. I have seen some of the worst pictures online. I literally had to take a buyer the other day kicking and screaming to a $700,000 listing that she did not want to look at because the pictures were just so bad. Yeah. She says, I'm not going to look at that. I'm like, please, just listen to me. And she went in, she actually liked the house. She said, wow, this is much better than the pictures. So you are going to have to and 95% of all buyers start their process of looking online. Okay, the internet has given them great access to data.
It sure has.
Agents are now getting calls from their buyers saying, I just saw this online, that kind of thing. And so if you're not able to capture the buyer through the pictures initially, they're probably not coming through.
So it'd be, it's human nature that people are going to use the internet these days.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it is. So the advice that I would give is take your information on the internet, get with a superstar agent like John Sturges, and then sit down. And there's nothing more powerful than asking questions. Knowledge is power, right? In real estate, we're going to be talking about the buyer a little bit later on. But you make your money on the buy, not the sell of real estate. And when you're selling, you got to get your house in the game, right? And so listen to your real estate agent. Am I preaching right now?
You are absolutely preaching to the choir.
Yeah, to the choir.
Amen, brother.
Amen. Come in with some more stuff here, brother.
So, again, going back to talking about, listings and everything, it's so important that, you have your best foot forward. And agents are sometimes loath to bring these things up because they feel like they're disrespecting the house or whatever. And we're not really doing that. We're trying to help them understand the process and how buyers are going to be looking at this house. And there's a lot of different tricks to the trade. I've sometimes suggest they have a pre-inspection. Find out what they don't know about the house. They're going to find out about it anyway when the buyer does their own inspection.
Man, what a brilliant
do it up front.
Tool.
And then a lot of times you can even just, when the buyer comes through, say, hey, by the way, we just had inspected last week. Here's the results. That kind of thing. Yeah. And now they can maybe say, well, I guess we don't have to spend, $400 for an inspection because they've already done it for us. Yeah. And it gives you a chance to fix things that may be broken that you don't know about. And you're going to have to fix them anyway. Yeah. And buyers always assume that a fix costs about 1.5 to 2 times what it should cost to fix.
So to be very transparent, when you write a contract, there's this thing called an option period.
Right.
In that option period, if you're selling a house, you're crossing your fingers because they're going to bring their inspector in. Yeah. So by being proactive in selling a house and having it inspected, man, what a great tool. What about getting it appraised?
The problem is that in this market, things move so quickly. You could have an appraisal done today. Yeah. And in 2 weeks, the valuation could be different. Yeah. I'm a little bit, and here's the other thing too. It's good when you have a really, I actually do have homes appraised if they're somewhere in the $800,000 to plus range because things like outdoor living areas, updated kitchens can really bring huge valuation. Now an appraisal is going to cost you about $500, but it could plant another $10,000 on the list price.
It sure could. It's pennies on the dollar. When I started in real estate, appraisal was $250. Now they're going to $500.
Yeah, they're about $500.
So to be very clear in this segment, if you're listing your home, in order to get that sweet spot price, we encourage you to go to the internet, do your own homework, do your own due diligence, then get a superstar real estate agent. You can go to willielambright.com. I have my 12 strong in my studios, John Sturges. This guy's forgotten more about real estate than I'll ever know. 817-832-7473. Again, 817-832-7473. Hit that sweet spot. We still are in a coming to the middle market. Days on market. Don't answer this yet. If you're at that sweet spot, when we come back from break, we're going to tell you about some of the days on market you can expect if you do all your homework in selling your home. And then in the last segment, we'll talk to you about the buyers and some of the things you need to know when buying a home. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Everybody should own a home. It's all good stuff. Real estate changes people's lives to the good. I got to go to break. You know it, friend. We'll be back in a Willie Skosh.